Television has always had its icons, figures who define eras and shape mornings, laughter, and comfort for millions. When such icons leave, time itself seems to stop. One of those moments happened with Kelly Ripa, a woman whose radiant charm, humor, and warmth had brightened living rooms for over 2 decades. On what seemed like a routine morning show, viewers tuned in expecting lighthearted banter and smiles. What they witnessed instead was a moment of raw honesty, vulnerability, and finality that no one saw coming. The morning that changed everything. It wasn't through gossip columns or breaking press releases that the world learned Kelly's news. It was live, unfiltered, emotional, and deeply human. Sitting at her familiar desk, Kelly looked into the camera and began what would become her most memorable broadcast. There were no grand effects or dramatic music, only tears and heartfelt words. Her farewell wasn't rehearsed for television. It was lived, felt, and shared in real time. The atmosphere in the studio shifted as she spoke. Laughter turned to silence, and the energy that had long filled the space softened into collective grief. It wasn't just a goodbye to a show. It was a goodbye to an era. 2 decades of connection. Kelly Ripa's career had become synonymous with American morning television. Joining the Live family in 2001, first alongside Regis Philbin, she quickly became a household name. Her effortless humor, quick wit, and down-to-earth honesty made viewers feel like she was part of their own families. Over the years, audiences watched her share stories about motherhood, marriage, and work-life balance, creating a bond that few television hosts ever achieve. For millions sipping coffee before work or school, Kelly wasn't just a host. She was a companion. Her energy was contagious, her laughter genuine, and her kindness ever-present. That's why her farewell struck so deeply. Her exit didn't just mark the end of a show, it symbolized the end of something personal for everyone who had grown alongside her. The hidden struggle. What the public didn't see were the quiet battles behind the scenes. For months, Kelly had been preparing for this day in silence. Rumors of her departure had circulated, but no one truly believed she would go, not like this. The long hours, emotional toll, and balancing act of being both a mother and a media figure had taken their effect. In past interviews, Kelly had admitted to feeling stretched thin, caught between her dedication to her work and her desire for peace and time with her family. Beneath the radiant smile and effortless charm was a woman confronting exhaustion, reflection, and change. The final broadcast. On the morning of her final show, Kelly arrived earlier than usual. Crew members noticed her calmness, a stillness that hinted at something different. As she took her familiar seat, her eyes lingered over the studio set that had been her second home. This wasn't just another morning on camera. It was the closing of a 20-year chapter. When the broadcast began, the air was thick with emotion. Kelly thanked her co-hosts, crew, and most importantly, her loyal audience. Her voice trembled as she expressed her gratitude. This has been an incredible ride, one that I will cherish forever. Tears welled in her eyes as she paused to collect herself. Around her, the audience stood, clapping through their own tears. Then came the words that froze everyone in the moment. This will be my final broadcast. The studio fell in stunned silence. For millions watching at home, it felt as though time had stopped. Their mourning friend was saying goodbye. A career that defined connection. During the show, a montage of her best moments aired, from hilarious bloopers to touching interviews and heartfelt behind-the-scenes clips. It reminded everyone why Kelly's presence mattered. Whether she was cracking jokes, discussing family life, or offering advice to guests, she had a rare ability to make every viewer feel seen. Her co-hosts, visibly emotional, joined her on set. They shared stories of laughter and friendship, of early mornings and on-air chaos that became cherished memories. Kelly smiled through her tears, thanking them all for being her partners in this journey. "We've been through so much together," she said softly. "There have been laughs and tears, good days and bad, but you've always welcomed me into your homes. And that means everything to me. The final moments. As the broadcast neared the end, the camera captured every emotion. The trembling lips, the misty eyes, the bittersweet smiles. Kelly's closing words were a reflection of gratitude and grace. Thank you for letting me be part of your mornings, for sharing your stories with me, and for making me feel like family. Your kindness has meant the world to me, and I will never forget it. Her co-hosts and longtime guests gathered around, embracing her as the studio erupted in applause. Kelly smiled one last time, eyes glistening, as she stepped down from the platform that had defined her career. Kelly Ripa's departure was more than a television goodbye. It was the ending of a cultural chapter. Her authenticity, humor, and compassion set a new standard for what it means to connect with an audience. Though her final show ended in tears, her legacy continues in the millions she inspired daily. As fans bid farewell, they weren't just saying goodbye to a host, but to a friend who had shared her heart openly for 20 years.